There's a researcher named Dale Larson who spent his career studying something most of us do every single day and never talk about: hiding parts of ourselves on purpose. In 1990, he and a colleague ran a study on 306 people, measuring how much they actively concealed their real thoughts and feelings from others. The people who scored highest on concealment weren't just a little more anxious. Their scores lined up with measurably higher anxiety and depression than the people who let themselves be known. Not because they had worse lives, because they were carrying a second version of themselves that never got permission to exist out loud. You've met that version. You might be talking to me through it right now. Here's what most advice tells you to do about this. Speak up more. Be authentic. Stop filtering yourself. It's not wrong. It's just useless because it skips the actual problem. Telling an overthinker to just be more open is like telling someone with a full inbox to just answer more emails. The instruction assumes the blockage is willpower. It isn't. The blockage is that you've never actually mapped which version of you is doing the withholding, or why that version thinks withholding is the safer bet. You can't loosen a grip you haven't identified, and be more authentic gives you nothing to identify. This isn't a clinical model. It's a pattern I've noticed watching how quiet, analytical people actually operate. So take it as a working lens, not a diagnosis. In my observation, the unspoken self tends to show up as one of 4 characters, depending on the situation. The editor. This is the version that drafts a thought, then quietly revises it 3 times before it's allowed near your mouth. By the time it comes out, it's safe, vague, and about 40% of what you meant. The diplomat. This one shows up when there's disagreement. It smooths the sharp edge off your real opinion so nobody's uncomfortable, including you. The cost is that your actual position never gets recorded, not even for yourself. The archivist. This is the one who writes the honest version down somewhere private. A notes app, a journal, a draft text never sent, and treats that as close enough. It isn't. Writing it down for no one is still a form of never saying it. The ghost, the most extreme version. It doesn't edit, soften, or archive. It just opts out of the exchange entirely and lets the moment pass in silence. Most of you are probably a blend with one that dominates. That's normal. The point isn't to pick a label, it's to notice which one activates first, because that's the one running your defaults. Here's the part that usually gets skipped, and it's the reason most people who identify their pattern still don't change anything. Naming which version of you speaks up isn't the hard part. The hard part is that the moment where you'd actually let the real thought through, a decision, an opinion, a boundary, comes and goes in seconds. The editor revises it before you notice. The diplomat softens it mid-sentence. There's no pause built in where you catch yourself doing it. That's the exact gap I built Daily Clarity Doors to sit inside. It's not a journal and it's not a motivational app. It's a short daily structure that makes you name the real decision or opinion before the editor gets a chance to revise it, and keeps a record so the archivist's private drafts actually turn into something you follow through on. It only works though if you've already placed yourself in one of the 4 patterns above. Otherwise, you're just filling in blanks without knowing which habit you're actually interrupting. If that's useful, there's a link below. Either way, keep watching because the next part is where this framework earns its keep. Once you know your dominant pattern, here's where it actually plays out. If you're an editor, the application is catching the first draft of a thought before revision 3 kicks in, literally saying or writing the raw version once privately before you're allowed to polish it. The limitation. This doesn't fix over-editing in real-time conversation. It only builds the muscle for noticing it happens. If you're a diplomat, the move is separating keeping the peace from recording your actual position. You can still choose not to say the sharp version out loud in a meeting, but you write down what you actually think so you're not gaslighting your own memory later. The limitation. This doesn't make confrontation easier. It just stops you from forgetting you had a real opinion in the first place. If you're an archivist, the move is picking one private draft a week and actually sending or saying it, even in a lower stakes version. The limitation. This can feel disproportionately terrifying the first few times because you're breaking a pattern that's protected you for years. That discomfort is expected, not a sign you're doing it wrong. None of these are cures. They're small corrections to a habit that's been running unsupervised for a long time. Here's the actual system, 4 steps repeated. 1. Notice the moment a thought gets caught, a hesitation, a swallowed sentence, a never mind. 2. Name which version intercepted it, editor, diplomat, archivist, or ghost. 3. Write the unfiltered version down somewhere real, even if you never say it out loud. 4. Once a week, pick one of those unfiltered versions and actually let it reach another person. Repeat, the goal isn't to eliminate the quiet version of you. It's to stop letting it make every decision by default. Here's where this stalls out. Usually around week 3 or 4. You get good at noticing the pattern, but the follow-through in step 4 stays stuck. You can identify "I'm diplomating right now" mid-sentence and still not say the real thing. That's because noticing is a cognitive skill. Following through is a nervous system one. It involves an actual physical discomfort tolerance that awareness alone doesn't build. Recognizing the pattern is necessary. It was never going to be sufficient on its own. Dale Larson's research followed 306 people who were quietly carrying a version of themselves that never got to speak. Yours has been doing the same thing, probably longer than you've noticed. So here's the question. Which one runs the show for you? The editor, the diplomat, the archivist, or the ghost? Tell me in the comments, and tell me one moment this week where you caught it happening. For the next video, we're looking at something that trips up these exact same people. Why you don't trust your own judgment, even when you're right. I'll see you there.